Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Thursday, October the 5th. Today, we're going to talk about President Trump in Puerto Rico and some of the reaction to the trip. Now, one of the most interesting reaction was from many people who were very upset that President Trump had spoken about Katrina. They didn't understand why President Trump brought up Katrina during his trip to Puerto Rico. And I actually think President Trump was correct in bringing up Katrina. Let me tell you why. For a few days before his trip, there had been many Democrats in the U.S. House and some in the Senate as well who had been talking, giving speeches on the floor of the Congress or to the media or whatever, saying that Puerto Rico was going to be Katrina's or Trump's Katrina. Of course, we need to go back a little bit and remember what happened with Katrina back in September of 2005. Katrina was a very complicated matter that was obviously complicated totally when the levees broke down and the city was flooded. On top of that, you had a very bad local government. The mayor of that city, by the way, is currently in jail for corruption. You had an extremely incompetent governor. So everything just came together, and unfortunately, there was a tragedy of very significant proportions. Of course, the Democrats' response was to blame it all on Bush. They didn't blame the Democrat mayor of New Orleans for his incompetence. They didn't blame the Democrat governor of Louisiana for her incompetence. Everything was Bush's fault. And that refrain, if you will, of Katrina, Katrina, Katrina has been used by the Democrats many, many times. In fact, they tried to use it against Governor Perry here in 2008 when we had a pretty bad hurricane. It didn't work because, of course, Governor Kerry and Texas were on top of the job. They tried it in Florida recently. They tried it in Houston recently. But once again, it didn't work because here in Texas, Governor Abbott did a fantastic job, as well as the Houston mayor and his staff. And then in Florida, of course, Governor Scott did a great job, as well as the local officials. So when you perform, when you do things well, it's very difficult to call it a Katrina. So then comes Puerto Rico. Now, Puerto Rico, of course, had problems before the hurricane. Puerto Rico was technically bankrupt before the hurricane. The situation in Puerto Rico was so bad, the country was, or the island, was running out of cash. The power company was not even maintained. So everything in Puerto Rico happened. You have a horrible hurricane, the power is shut off, and now you have a situation where on top of all of these problems, the island has a debt of $76 billion. So when Trump went to Puerto Rico, he said, look, this is not Katrina. He's exactly right. This is not Katrina. And of course, that got all the Democrats all upset. Why is he bringing up Katrina? Well, the reason he's bringing it up, my friend Democrats, is because you were the ones who brought it up. You were the ones who created the Katrina measurement stick when it came to all of these. So if Trump says this is not Katrina, he's exactly right. It's not Katrina, but it was the Democrats, of course, who kept telling us that Puerto Rico was going to be Trump's Katrina. I think that this is a very interesting situation in Puerto Rico because many members of the Spanish media, as well as many Hispanics, are trying to make this into a huge crisis. It really isn't. It isn't a huge crisis. Now, the question of the debt will be a serious, contentious debate when it gets to Congress. Puerto Rico right now has a $76 billion debt. There's no way they can be reconstructed and pay that debt at the same time. They couldn't do it, as I said, before the hurricane. Obviously, they have a less chance of doing it right now. President Trump did mention that most of that debt was going to have to be forgiven. He's exactly right. Most of that debt is going to have to be probably restructured. I don't think it'll be forgiven, but I think it'll be restructured in some capacity as part of the reconstruction package. For example, if a company was to invest in Puerto Rico, maybe as part of the investment, they can assume a small chunk of the debt. And if you do that with enough investors, eventually you're going to be able to guarantee the debt, not in the sense that the investors are going to get the money right away. The people who are Puerto Rican bondholders will probably have to wait a while for dividends or whatever, but at least you're guaranteeing the capital. That's one potential solution. There may be others. I don't mean to suggest that I have them all. But I think the bottom line of all of this is that the reason that President Trump was talking about Katrina in Puerto Rico is because it was the Democrats who tried to politicize Puerto Rico by bringing up Katrina. It was a very bad move. It didn't work in Texas. It didn't work in Florida. And it's not going to work in Puerto Rico. Not going to work in Puerto Rico. You know, it would be nice if the Democrats would actually concentrate in finding candidates and actually try to build their candidate base instead of being so focused on hating Trump. I think they would win more elections, frankly, if they would do that. They need to get over Trump. Trump won the election. Let's get over it. And let's think about the future. Thank you for watching this video. We put them at YouTube if you want to watch them over there. We also put them in Twitter. We put them in my political page. Thank you for watching. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. Just absolutely lovely. Beginning to feel like fall here in North Texas. Have a wonderful day, everybody.